Welcome back to Midwest Access. I'm your host, Jesse Allison. Well, navigating mental health isn't easy, but it seems even more difficult around the holidays, Tim. And Tim Volz is back to help us sort of navigate that, maybe make a plan ahead of time, how we can enjoy, not drive ourselves crazy, no pressure.
This is a real hard time for a lot of people, just people in general. But if you add a mental health diagnosis on it or a substance use disorder or both, it's even more elevated. So planning, it's nice to talk about it 2 weeks before it, so you can start to plan. And I do that a lot with the folks that I work with. I always have a family program the Saturday before Thanksgiving week. And I do that to get the family members oriented, answer their questions, but also, you know, bringing family members back into the fold after they've been out for a while, or they've been they haven't been available on those holidays, and now they're kind of coming back in, and they suffer with depression, anxiety, substance use disorders. And how do you navigate that so people aren't walking around on eggshells, and so they can feel comfortable, because there's a high level of stress for a lot of these folks on top of then now being reintroduced into family gatherings, the Thanksgiving dinner, you know, the Thanksgiving weekend. So it's really important to talk about that. And I think so it's a really good idea to do that. I call Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's the unholy trinity for people that are getting back into the fold, because it's a really tough time for people, especially, you know, in years before when they were isolated from their families and really struggling. So there's a few things that you can do for family members to help them, but more importantly for the person that struggles with the mental health to feel a little bit more you know, good about yourself, good about being back into the fold, and then using some of the tools that I'll talk about, a couple of those today, that might be beneficial for them as they navigate these three holidays. Because
things are so tricky for all of us. I mean, you've got this weird, you know, when you go back to your like family of origin, you've kind of got this weird, whatever your role was when you were 18, somehow is still your role. And then, like you said, maybe you've been isolated for a while. Maybe there's some bad memories of things that happened when you were going through that time of your life.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to remember to talk about this a little bit. For a lot of people, there's been, you know, family members have been lost over the last year. So, and Christmas and Thanksgiving are times where you get to see those people and they're absent this year. And that makes people extremely sad. And, you know, you never realize that sometimes, you know, grandparents, grandmas, they're the ones that kind of, you know, keep these gatherings together. They hold them together like glue, and then when one of those are gone, everybody is scrambling. They're like, man, Grandma did a lot of work, and now she's not here anymore. And it makes it really, really difficult to kind of work through that. But you can, as a family, you can work through that and try to honor those people that aren't here anymore by doing the right things.
So it sounds like much more than, you know, I think a lot of us up here in the Midwest, we kind of just like don't talk about it. Rather than that, maybe actually acknowledging it and having the plan, like you're talking about.
That's the first step, is accept in the plan. I always do a little bit of research and everything before I come on here with my topic, so I can kind of, so I went to NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness, and they said that 64% of people that have, on their research study, that have mental health find that it gets worse during this time. But for anybody, 3 out of 5 people say that the holidays are way more stressful than just anything else. So humans in particular struggle during the holidays. And so it's not just people with mental health, it's everybody. So the first thing is to have a plan. So it's always about having a plan. I always tell people that struggle with addiction and alcoholism, if you feel uncomfortable because Uncle Joe's sitting over there drinking, have an escape plan. There's all kinds of things going on in the community. There's so many resources. People that do everything. You know, there's a club right on 3rd Avenue that always has a place for people to go, and they have a Thanksgiving dinner and a meeting on top of it. And then the Salvation Army does their, so there's so many places you can go. You just need to kind of have an escape plan. And that's number one, as far as like, you know, kind of setting yourself up for success, is to have a plan and start to implement it right now. And I talk about that in the family groups and how to create that plan so you can be safe.
Oh, that's perfect. And this is the perfect spot. We'll stop right here, and when we return, we're continuing this conversation with Tim Volz. We'll be right back.